Do you think your ideology attracts weirdos in real life? I think ML does, but I'm hoping infrared does not. That makes sense. Like, Western ML does attract a lot of weirdos in real life, but I've always hoped that, ideology or the way I'm presenting it doesn't. Because a lot of those people hate me. A lot of those LARPing type of people really do not, they're not fans of me at all. Why does left wing stuff attract so many weirdos? Because let me tell you the truth, guys. I'm speaking to you, and you can clearly see I have a lot of pain in me, right? Well, one of the ways people deal with that pain is instead of soberly confronting it as its own thing, they just they project it all onto their personal politics, and social justice or politics becomes the bandage that they speak, the language, it becomes the language that they speak their very personal pain through. So they have some kind of personal pain, insecurity, whatever, and the politics becomes the language that they use to speak that. Let me tell you something. Those Austin Red Guards who are marching on the street? What's their motivation? What motivates a person to do that? Or when they attacked those random people? I mean, to actually attack someone, to assault someone, what is your personal motivation to do that? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's a very deep, intimate, personal pain. And it's a personal pain that isn't connected to the politics. For example, some people are... When are you voxing Vosh? Ask him. He's the one who hasn't responded to any of my DMs. You fucking idiot. Sorry, Urban Muslim. I just got your Discord message. Yeah, I might have you on if you're still awake in a few, maybe 10, 15 minutes from now. But what I'm trying to say is that what was I saying? Oh, yeah. What motivates you to do that? Well, I'll tell you what. It's something very personal. For example, maybe you're insecure that you're a little bit ugly. Maybe you're insecure about, you're dissatisfied with your sex life. Or maybe you are dissatisfied with your social life. Maybe you resent your social peers. There's so many things. Do you think that based on ideological disagreement alone, I could ever be mean to someone? That I could ever try to hurt someone? I can't. I can't. Not based on ideology alone. But for some people, they are going to use ideology as an excuse. Because what they're really dealing with is some kind of deep internal pain that they're trying to express in some kind of way. But I've always been someone who is cognizant of the difference between... Look, despite how much the ideology hits so close to home for me and matters, is literally the meaning of my life, is what I dedicate my life to. Even when I was in high school, I always knew it's not going to save you. It's not going to bail you out from confronting your personal problems. I always know those are two separate things. Two completely separate things. If anything, ideology is what allowed me to helped have a more clear way of being at peace personally. Like, ideology was my Jordan Peterson, like in a way. Like, not ideology, I don't even know what the word is, but like this idea that there's a force beyond us all history, all that kind of stuff. And being able to like relate that to my personal pain really allowed me to be at peace with it and just kind of be at peace with the fact that there's a bigger meaning that, you know, there's a higher meaning than my limited personal perspective, you know? But I don't turn politics into the language of my personal issues or perspective, if that makes sense. Like, I don't see politics as or ideology as a parable with which I sort out my personal issues. You know? So it's two completely different things. But you know one thing I do appreciate about Marxism-Leninism so much? I appreciate so much about Marxism-Leninism that it appreciates the fact that it is an ideology. Every ideology has limitations. There's a difference between reality and ideology. Marxism-Leninism helps us relate to reality, but it's not the same as reality itself. That's something I appreciate a lot, that it's just very cognizant of the fact it is an ideology. Marxist-Leninism doesn't say, oh, this is just the plain, transparent, you know, unideological, substantive reality. Marxism-Leninism says it's an ideology. It admits it's an ideology. That's something I really appreciate. Liberalism doesn't do that. Democratic socialism doesn't do that. So I really appreciate this cognizance of it being an ideology, because if you can recognize that you have an ideology, you can be free from many of the biases and prejudices that you would otherwise have based on ideology. You know? You can recognize, well, ideology is one thing, and then, you know, reality might be a different thing.